Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail, and you're very welcome to the programme. And where we are is we're back this evening in BALLYNURE Old Graveyard, and what you're looking at here is a coffin house or a watch house, and they used to store the coffins in here to keep them safe from the body snatchers, who were known as the resurrectionists. And also they used these to watch, to make sure that no body snatchers would come and steal their loved ones, because the last thing you wanted was, after a loved one had just died, you didn't want the body snatchers coming that night and digging them up for their body parts to sell as experiments. And so that's why these were built. So don't be panicking now, there's no coffins or corpses in here. There is a stone. And so I have finally got batteries again for my torch. So I'll be able to show you a bit of it anyway. So that's inside it. So I hope you can see that okay. And you can see a stone there. So there you go. And there's also various crypts in here which belong to the learned gentry. But where I'm going to take you now is down to the plot of the BALLYNURE Methodists, because they are buried here, at least some of them is anyway. And Robert Beatty and his wife Sarah Jane Beatty were responsible in 1846 for the building of the Methodist Church in BALLYNURE. And Robert was born in BALLYNURE in 1814, and he became attracted to Methodism after the conversion of his brother Alexander to Christ. And there you can see what's left of the old church, the Mary Magdalene Church, and I've done a wee video on that. Now, Alexander was a sugar planter in the West Indies, and after his conversion to Christ, Alexander decided that he could no longer be associated with the slave trade, and so he returned to BALLYNURE in 1832. And so within a year then, Robert was so impressed by the change that Christ had made in his brother's life that Robert himself was converted to Christ, and he himself also became a Methodist. And soon the family home was being used for preaching and fellowship meetings, and people flocked from the local countryside to these gatherings. And Robert also started a Sunday school in the area. Now, in 1839, Robert married Sarah Jane Boyd, and the young couple actually raised 10 children together. And within a few years, Robert decided that the Methodist congregation was of a sufficient size to warrant its own church building, and his drive and vision were crucial in bringing the vision to fruition in 1846. And he not only raised the funds for the church, but he actually designed and oversaw the building of it. And Robert and Sarah lived long enough to witness the extension of the church, and also the addition of a Sunday school room in 1894. And this is where they're buried. So this is where Robert and Sarah is buried, and if you're coming to this graveyard, there's a wee bit of information there on it that you can read, so you'll find the grave no problem. Just look for the Methodist graves. And there's also what's marked as the Presbyterian graves as well, and I will be doing a wee video on that, God willing, shortly. And so Robert and Sarah are buried here, along with 6 of their 10 children. So before I read out the stone for Robert and Sarah, I want to read this one here out to you. it says, in loving memory of the Reverend William Smiley, LLD, Methodist minister, son-in-law of Robert Beatty. So he married one of Robert's daughters, who died at Ballynure on the 9th of January 1886, aged 35 years. Ever loyal and devoted to his king, that's the Lord Jesus Christ, he has been thus early promoted to higher service. And then it says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God, they shall see God. And also his wife Mary Hay Hill Smiley, fourth daughter of Robert Beatty, who loving and dearly loved, entered into life eternal on the 15th, I think that is, of February 1914, age 62, I think that is. And then also of the Reverend Thomas Knox, son-in-law again of Robert Beatty. So some of the daughters married ministers, Methodist ministers, who after 50 years of devoted work in the Methodist ministry, went home to God on the 10th of, I think that's February 1919, aged 82 years. And also his wife, Sarah Jane Boyd Beatty, named after the mother, obviously, whose gentle spirit passed away the 6th of October. I think that's, I'm not sure if that's 19 or 18, but she was 73 anyway. So there you go. That's the daughters, and at least some of the daughters, and some of the sons-in-laws of the Reverend Robert and his wife Sarah. So this is the grave here of the Reverend Robert, and I'm going to read this out to you. It says, erected to the memory of John Beatty of Ballynure, who died October 29th 1825, I think that is, aged 52 years. And his wife Anne Hay, who died on the 16th of December 1871, and she was 86 years. And then Sarah Jane Boyd, wife of Robert Beatty, died 19th of June 1897, aged 82 years. And then Robert himself, Robert Beatty, died the 24th of April 1899, aged 85 years. And also in loving memory of Elizabeth Hay Beatty, youngest daughter of Robert Beatty, died 23rd of July 1936, aged 81 years. And you can see somebody's left a couple of wee ornaments there, so that's nice, isn't it? I like to see that, because it means that the flowers or ornaments are nice, because it means that the graves and the people aren't forgotten. And of course the wee plaque as well helps with the information. So there you go. That's the Methodists of Ballynure. And it was Robert Beatty, of course, who was one of the founders of and the instigator of getting the church built here in Ballynure. So thanks for watching, and God bless.